I'm Adriano Donati. I'm the head of the investor relations here at Unipol and UnipolSai. I'm going to take you through our first half results today. A good set of numbers for all lines of business, in line with the trend for the first quarter of this year. I remind you that the perimeter of the group has changed since the first half 2017, with Popolare Vita leaving the perimeter and Unisalute and Linear now included under UnipolSai. Arca Vita will also be under UnipolSai in the second half. So let's start with the consolidated results. The net consolidated results for the first half were 644 million euro at Unipol and 647 million euro at UnipolSai. The corresponding results net of minorities are 482 million euro at Unipol and 618 million euro at UnipolSai. Bear in mind that these figures are not comparable with those of the same period last year, as they are positively impacted by changes to the perimeter, the sale of Popolare Vita and other extraordinary items which I will explain further on. The technical insurance trends are positive for both companies, while the total results are impacted by a lower contribution from realized gains and financial income in general. It's also worth highlighting the positive pre-tax profit of 18 million euro of the banking business. The first half 2018 net consolidated results of both Unipol and UnipolSai were positively impacted by the gain of 309 million euro on the sale of Popolare Vita. Excluding this gain and the other 12 million euro effect from Popolare Vita, as well as the 27 million euro real estate write-down on Area Castello, we arrive at an adjusted result of 351 million euro for Unipol and 354 million euro for UnipolSai. The first half 2017 was negatively impacted by the restructuring of the bank, with a total negative impact of 780 million euro for Unipol and 104 million euro for UnipolSai. Also stripping out the contribution of Popolare Vita from 2017 and including Unisalute and Linear in UnipolSai for comparative purposes, we arrive at an adjusted first half 2017 result of 360 million euro for Unipol and 377 million euro for UnipolSai. In non-life, the total premiums are slightly above 4 billion for Unipol and slightly less than that for UnipolSai, more or less in line with the same figures for one half 17 on a like-for-like basis. The motor business accounted for just over 50% of total premium income. UnipolSai, the largest company of the group, collected total premiums of 3.5 billion euro. The combined ratio stands at 95.1% and 95.4% for Unipol and UnipolSai respectively, with a very good improvement of around 2 percentage points versus last year. Both the loss ratios and expense ratios of the two companies show a decrease, mainly due to the positive technical trends in motor business. Focusing on the motor business, the improvement shown in Q1 continued in Q2, with an overall drop of 3.8 percentage points of combined ratio year-on-year. The average premium declined 1.1% compared to year-end, although in recent months the trend has appeared to stabilize. Frequency continues to fall slightly, alongside a significant decrease in the number of claims reported. The number of black boxes installed has also continued to increase, reaching a total number of 3.7 million. All three of the P&C companies recently transferred to UnipolSai, Unisalute, Linear and Arca Assicurazioni, show growth in both volume and profit. Unisalute's net result was 19 million euro, Arca Assicurazioni 14 million euro and Linear 4 million euro. The total premiums collected by these companies reached 380 million euro in this half. Total life premiums are slightly above 2.2 billion at Unipol and slightly below 1.7 billion at UnipolSai. Stripping out Popolare Vita, that was sold in the first quarter, total life direct income showed an increase of more than 16% for Unipol and around 7% for UnipolSai. Arca Vita, which grew 54% year-on-year and was under the direct control of Unipol in the first half, will be included under UnipolSai in the second half of the year. The gap between the return on segregated accounts and the minimum guaranteed remains solid and increased to 1.8% at Unipol and 1.6% at UnipolSai, thanks to the solid result of financial income. The banking business closed the half with a pre-tax result of 18 million, including a contribution of more than 9 million euro to the national banking funds. The result net of taxes is 13 million euro. This result benefits from the restructuring of the segment and from the relaunching of the bank's commercial activities, refocusing on its core business. Gross NPEs decreased by 90 million euro since the first quarter, while increasing the overall coverage ratio to 47%, 77% for bad loans, 46% for unlikely to pay, and 21% for past due. Unipol showed its first positive results, decreasing gross NPEs by 198 million euro since its creation, with total collection of 49 million euro, 25% of gross book value. The remaining 2.7 million of gross loans are held at 19% of the gross book value, 518 million euro. In terms of asset allocation, total investments are now equal to 53.5 billion at Unipol and 44.4 billion euro at UnipolSai, given that Popolare Vita is now out of scope. At Unipol, bonds represent 83.5% of the portfolio, with Italian government bonds representing 44.6% of the total portfolio. The asset allocation at UnipolSai mirrors this. The total financial investment yields remain at satisfactory levels, 3.9% for Unipol and 4.2% for UnipolSai. The majority of this comes from coupons and dividends, with yields of 3.3% for Unipol and 3.4% for UnipolSai. The total value of the real estate portfolio stands at 4.1 billion euro, mainly under UnipolSai's perimeter. 61% of this is allocated to non-life business. During the half, there were 43 million euro of sales and 43 million of write-downs, 36 million of which were accounted for in the first quarter and related to the sale of Area Castello. The solvency ratios remain solid. The Unipol partial internal model shows a ratio of 1.6 times. The ratio for UnipolSai consolidated on economic capital basis is 2.06 times, while the ratio for UnipolSai solo using a partial internal model is 2.52 times. This good set of results for the first half of the year is a strong starting point for the final year of our strategic plan. That brings me to the end of my presentation. Thanks for listening. Let me remind you that our CEO and the rest of the senior management team will be pleased to take any questions from financial analysts and institutional investors during the conference call scheduled today at noon CEST.